Aloha. Do you ever question yourself where the names of our island streets come from? Well, that's why we have our weekly Aloha Authentic segment to help answer that question and to share mo'olelo behind the streets given names. This month, we have been highlighting streets named after past Hawaiian royals. This week, we end off the month with a street named after Hawaii's first elected king, King Charles Lunalilo. In the Ahupua'a of Waimanalo, in the moku of Ko'olaupoko here on Oahu, lies a street that was created before the residential development we know of today, known as Hawaii Kai. We are talking about Lunalilo Home Road in the area traditionally known as Mauna Lua. Following the death of King Kamehameha V in 1872, without naming an heir to the throne, the Hawaiian Constitution of 1864 provided that the throne should be filled by a vote of the legislator. In 1873, Charles Lunalilo ran against David Kalakaua and won by a landslide, becoming the first elected king to the Hawaiian Kingdom. King Lunalilo was the first Hawaiian ali'i to donate his work to charity, namely the Lunalilo Home, for the use and accommodation of poor, destitute, and infirm people of the Hawaiian blood, giving preference to old people. The original home opened its doors in 1883 in Makiki. However, the home was then moved to its current location in the 1920s. Did you know? Now you do.
Well, thank you, because you hear Lunalilo Home Road and you never think it was actually a home. It was actually a facility. So he was the first elected king of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Going back to the home, in Makiki, where is the first Lunalilo home located?
So funny enough, we actually all know, we just don't know it. Where Roosevelt High School stands today, it was the land to where the first home was built, and that was back in, I believe it opened its doors in 1883, where it served to about, I believe, 53 residents. And then down in 1888, they picked up an extra, I think, almost 40 acres or so. So as this photo, this is the actual photo of the original. Kind of looking at it and kind of putting Roosevelt High School into it now, I can kind of totally picture it. But it's just so cool. I would have never known.
You drive by all the time.
Drive by all the time.
Now we know.
Yeah.
And then you also said that he's the first elected king.
Yes.
How long did he rule for?
Unfortunately, he only ruled for nearly 13 months. Oh. He was actually a very popular, very much liked king. So he actually was coined, given the nickname, the People's King. But in about August of 1873, so after he was already elected, he came down with a very severe cold, which eventually evolved into tuberculosis, which he ended up passing by. But he had a lot of, I guess, a lot of illnesses, including being an alcoholic, which led to a lot of other issues.
Now, he did follow the reign of 5 King Kamehamehas. Was he part of the Kamehameha family?
Interesting, yes. And I think it's interesting because a lot of times growing up, I didn't know that. I thought King Lunalilo was the change of the dynasty. But the parents to King Lunalilo, his mother was by the name of Miriam Auhea Kekauluohi. And her parents were actually the descendants of the parents of King Kamehameha the Great. So there's actually a direct connection. It took me 30 years to figure that out. Because
so they're related?
But they're related, okay. Yeah, so they're in the same family.
Very interesting. No, he only ruled, you said, for 13 months. What are some of the things that he did during his reign?
So at the time there was a Constitution of 1864, which he wasn't a big fan of. So he was doing a lot of amendments and writing to the legislator to get those things amended in the Constitution and change them. One fun fact that didn't go through, but he proposed to lease the lagoon to where Pearl Harbor is to America. But after he proposed that, he got a lot of protest and flack from the community, so he ended up revoking his proposal. Later on down the road, we know that, of course, Pearl Harbor is Pearl Harbor. I don't know exactly when. Hopefully, can find that out soon.
But he did listen to what they were saying.
Yeah, so he did listen, and he just went with the flow.
And where does he rest today? He's
one of the only few ali'i that are not resided at Mauna Ala. He is the only ali'i that resides at Kauai Ha'o Church.
Okay, and then coming up in just a little bit?
Coming up in just a little bit, stay tuned, because we'll be visiting our dear friend DeSoto Brown at Bishop Museum for more information on King Lunalilo.
Perfect, I learned so much. Thank you so much, Kamaka.
Thank you, mahalo.
Our Aloha Authentic segment continues, and just moments ago, Kamaka Pili explained that Lunalilo Home Road in Hawaii Kai was named after Hawaii's first elected king.
And now to delve deeper into the history of who he was, Kamaka visited our friends at the Bishop Museum to learn more.
Good morning. Yes, we're here at the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Museum, where this month for Aloha Authentic, we're focusing on street names that carry names of our past ali'i or our past rulers. This week, we're talking about King Charles Lunalilo and Lunalilo Home Road in what we know today as Hawaii Kai, traditionally known as Maunalua. Now, we've been talking all month long with DeSoto Brown, who is a Bishop Museum historian, my best friend for this week. Just so delicious, the conversations we've been having. But with the limited amount of time, King Charles Lunalilo, we've learned during election time he was the first elected king. Why was that?
It was because King Kamehameha V had died without a named successor, and he had asked Bernice Pauahi Bishop to be his successor. She said, no, do not think of me. He died without a named successor, so there had to be an election, but it was just the legislators who voted, not the general public.
So that was back in 1873, and then we know he battled, or at least went up against King Kalakaua, who then became king in the next election.
After his death.
Yes.
So Lunalilo was only king for 1 year, then he died, and again, without a successor, there had to be another election, and that time it was Kalakaua versus Emma, and Kalakaua was the winner.
So definitely a change in Hawaii's history.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, today we most would be more familiar with King Lunalilo with Lunalilo Home Road.
Right.
Now, you're sharing a little bit that this is actually a different location than the original, correct?
King Lunalilo left his money as an estate or a trust to support Lunalilo Home for aged Hawaiians. Unfortunately, the trust had a termination date. So in 1927, the Lunalilo Home was closed, the original one, which was located where Roosevelt High School is, and it was burned down, literally, to demolish it for rebuilding. Fortunately, however, some of my ancestors stepped in and purchased what had been a dormitory for workers for a telegraph company that had been constructed out where, as you said, we now call Hawaii Kai. And that was turned into the second Lunalilo Home, and because that's where Lunalilo Home was located, the road that went up to it was named Lunalilo Home, and that was one of the very few things that was even out there before the development of the subdivision that we know today.
Now, I also do know that there's another road called, I believe it's called Lunalilo Street, that is a short street that leads onto the freeway, correct?
Correct, and that obviously is another street in naming, obviously in honor of King Lunalilo, but no connection to Lunalilo Home or the story that I just told.
So now Hawaii Kai, compared to Maunalua, where did that name or the contemporary nickname come about from?
The name came from a man named Henry J. Kaiser, who was a major developer. He constructed the Hawaiian Village Hotel, and he also then built this immense subdivision, which got started in 1960. And the name Hawaii Kai is a completely invented one. It has no connection to anything Hawaiian. Truly speaking, it's obviously a shortening of his last name, and he was very proud to put his name on everything he could, and turned it into sort of a Hawaiian-sounding name, which isn't truly traditional and has nothing to do with our real culture.
And is it true that the pond or the lake that resides there was traditionally one of the largest traditional fish ponds?
Yes, it certainly was. Kuapa Pond was a functioning fish pond up until the time of the construction. The construction got started on the subdivision. It was a major source of fish for the market in Honolulu. So if you'd gone to a restaurant or a fish market in those earlier years in the 20th century, you were probably getting some fish from Kuapa Pond.
Thank you very much, DeSoto. And we can be here all day long for the whole 24 hours in the day to talk story. But of course, again, here at the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Museum, talking about King Charles Lunalilo and Lunalilo Home Road. If you want to catch up on past episodes and segments, make sure you check out aloha-authentic.org. Here live at the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Museum in Kalihi. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks so much, Kamaka. Great info.